noise, chaos, anticipation. It was the first day of the Passover festivities, and crowds packed the streets of Jerusalem. The noise was deafening, the chaos frenzied, and the anticipation mounted.
Can you see it, Papa?
Not yet, Cherie. Not yet.
The crowds were thicker this year, more than ever before. For him, he was coming to town. The people were up on walls, hanging from rooftops, all with the hope of catching a glimpse of Jesus.
Papa?
Soon, my darling.
They had ravaged trees of their branches.
He'll be here soon,
They had covered the dirt streets with their cloaks,
and we will see him again.
all to honor Jesus.
Again. I long to see him again. To have my Cherie see it. I'm usually in Jerusalem for Passover. This time when I heard Jesus was coming to town, there was no doubt. I knew I must come to again see the one who gave me back my little girl. The one who, when I approached him like a stranger, tear-stained, begging for him to come and save my little girl, said, I will come, without hesitation. So much love in his eyes. I joyfully wait for him to come. I waited for him then too. I waited for him to hurry, to follow, and save my dying child. But the crowd slowed him down. I remember a sick woman. She was reaching up to touch his robes, begging to be healed. And he stopped to help her. He stopped. My child was dying, and yet he stopped. I often think back to that moment. The agony of waiting, the seconds stretched out. I wonder if he did it on purpose, so that my child would be dead when we got there. Not to be cruel, but just to change me. To change all of us, all the more. Because when we finally arrived at my doorstep, it was too late. My little girl was dead. But death meant nothing to him. She's just asleep, he said. Little girl, get up. And that changed everything.
This man, Jairus, was changed.
I'm one of so many people.
Like the leprous man who hadn't been touched in 10 years.
Thousands of people
Like the thirsty Samaritan woman.
who wait for him.
Like the poor who had decided she was no longer worth loving.
Because he has changed us forever.
Papa!
Yes, my darling. I think you're right. It's him. And he's riding on a donkey.
A donkey?
I know, right? A donkey. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, he should be on a chariot or a stallion. But no, last night Jesus says to me, Peter, take one of the others and go get me a donkey. So I did.
You're one of his disciples.
Yes, I am.
Jesus!
Hosanna!
But today, I can only stand back and watch, amazed. I need some space on the wall, some perspective. I mean, you spend 3 years with a guy, you think eventually you're going to figure him out, right? Not a chance. To be honest with you, my head is spinning nonstop. The things I've seen in the last 3 years, hey, take this last week alone. 3 days ago, we show up at Bethany's mourning for Lazarus. We get to the tomb, and he's dead. And Jesus cries. And finally, I think, this is it. There's nothing you can do about it. Not Jesus. He tells them to roll away the stone. Okay, bad idea, first of all. Lazarus has been there a few days. But Jesus says, I told you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God. Hard to argue with that. So they do what he says and roll away the stone. And Jesus says, Lazarus, come out. And out he comes. The guy's dragging his burial wrappings and everything. No big deal. It's unbelievable. And that's just Wednesday. Then the other day, we're having dinner at Bethany, and Martha's there, and Mary, Lazarus, the ex-corpse. And then Mary pours a whole bottle of perfume on Jesus' feet and begins to wash his feet with her hair. And I'm talking the really expensive perfume, too. It's really a beautiful thing. Way to show praise, thanks for Jesus, to bring him back in another. And Judas gets really upset. He says that we should have sold the perfume and given the money to the poor. Jesus says it was intended that she should save this perfume for my burial. His burial? I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. And that's just my life with Jesus. I mean, one second I know exactly what he's talking about. And then the next he says something like, the Son of Man must be poured out for many. And I'm left super confused. Is it me? It must be me. There's only two things I know for sure. He is the Son of God, and I love him. The rest of them will figure out as we go. So when the man says, get me a donkey, the man is getting a donkey. Jerusalem, aside from the donkey, it's quite a moment. Nothing like making an entrance. This week something amazing is going to happen. I can't wait to see what it is. Hey, Jesus!
It was the Passover celebration, and Jesus entered Jerusalem on a donkey. The crowds cheered. They waved palm branches and cried out, Hosanna! Not everybody was happy to see him. The crush of bodies, the noise, the smell of it all, it was almost too much. And yet, the air was sweet with the cries of his name. And within the chaos, amidst the joyful frenzy, his face was calm. His quiet strength cutting through the noise. And always that knowing spark in his eye as he rode in on a donkey. As he rode in, there were thousands of men and women who had been changed by him forever.
Jesus!
Hosanna!
Hosanna!
There were 12 men. Were not fully sure what was happening yet, but loved him and followed him anyway.
Yeah, Jesus! He's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
And there was one man in particular